Here is a welding project that we're up for. This is a seat to a tractor, my friend's tractor, and we'll show you where that piece goes. All right, so this piece belongs right there, and this gets attached to the tractor base. And it's a swivel for the seat to swivel up and down, and you can kind of see this is broken off. Let's have a look. So this was probably a good weld, and the metal fatigued. That was a bad weld. That was probably a bad weld, but this was probably a good weld. And it doesn't look like this is the first time that this thing has been broken and welded on both sides. So it would seem like it is a design problem. So all the weight transfers to here, and it must bend, although we got this thing here. Somehow this tab bends in, I guess, on both sides. That's how it looks. So we need to reinforce this, is my thought. All right, so if we, that's, I believe, 1/8 inch thick. This is cut in a triangle from somewhere else, but we grind all this down, flatten it out, weld this plate, this triangular plate, to here in multiple locations to make it very strong. And then we would be able to weld it right along here to the tube. So we'll have more than just a 1 inch, 1.5 inch spot. We will have, that's probably like 3 inches. So it'll prevent rotating this way, hopefully give it more support down. So that's the thought. So I have to go pick up dinner. When we come back, we'll probably grind these parts down and see how all that looks. Yeah. Here we have prepped our 2 triangle pieces. Kind of see we ground them, cleaned it all up with a sanding disc, and then we use the grinding disc, and then we're going to align these, and I'm going to weld this edge, this edge, this edge, the underneath edge, and I also have to weld this break on this side, and the same thing on 4 edges. So I'm going to set all that up. Alright, we're kind of prepped up to do these welds. We're going to do 330 at 18.6, and we're using 030 wire. So let's see what happens. Alright, let's have a look. Unwelded that one, unwelded that one. Welded this from the top. And I welded this one from the bottom. Well, won't win anything at the Erie County Fair, but I also did that weld too. Yeah, I think might hold. See, I think those things. All right, we're gonna clean those up with probably a sanding disc and maybe a wire wheel of sorts. Let it cool down. It's pretty hot too. Yeah, better use a glove. All right, so we prepped up that. Go right there, and then we're going to weld. Let's see on both sides right there. So I gotta clamp that down, align it, and then we'll weld. Yeah, that's a mess. The ones towards this side over here, I did first, but that was a big gap there, and I don't think I welded it very well. But I don't know. Alright, that's inside the tube. You can kind of see there's like some burn through at the top, which would be over on this side here. And then it looks like maybe some burn through over in this section over here. So maybe a little bit too hot. Here we go. Alright, so we added additional metal here because this is where the part was bending up this way on both sides. So we added additional metal, welded it, so now this is double thick from the point of force to the hinge. It goes all the way over to here. And we lengthened from this to this, so hopefully it helps with this flexion and it would help with this rotation. Not as much torque on a very small area, it's spread out. And maybe the welds will hold, maybe they won't. I'm feeling that if it fails again, it's gonna be because of welds, poor weld failure, not metal fatigue. And that's on me, but his other option is he could pay someone to do that, which he might have to do next time. All right, some paint tomorrow, and then I'll get it back to him so I can put it on his tractor.